Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos and on this video this morning I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information regarding Bruno Fernandes, like I have been doing on a regular basis recently. Also going to provide you with some more news regarding Ashley Young. And also, there is lots of other things to currently talk about. So, according to Portuguese televisions, they're now basically saying that today Manchester United could announce the signing of Bruno Fernandes. So it is looking likely that Bruno Fernandes is going to be our first signing in this January transfer window, and he is going to be our fourth signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. I was reading Sky Sports yesterday, and it did say that Man United are prepared to put around a £51 million bidding for Bruno Fernandes. So we're hopeful that we can get him for around 50 or £51 million. But he's set to cost us around £60 million. So I do presume that the rest will be add-ons included, because Sporting Lisbon have confirmed that they do want around £60 million for Bruno Fernandes. But I think now obviously is our number one priority target. But I think it says now that talks in that are at an advanced stage. But it said, we're set to hold further more talks. Obviously, it reported out on Friday that Sporting Lisbon's president, Federico Varandas, also Bruno Fernandes' agent, obviously, had flown out to England, for negotiations with Ed Woodward, because I think Sporting Lisbon are aware that Bruno Fernandes does want to leave to rejuvenate his career in that. So, they are aware of this. Obviously, the other week, Solskjaer and Mike Phelan had flew to Portugal to watch Bruno Fernandes in action. So, obviously, that had fueled more speculation. Bruno Fernandes was playing for Sporting Lisbon yesterday. He did actually score twice. But, to be honest with you now, I think he would be the right calibre player for Manchester United. I think what he's done during his time with Sporting Lisbon, I think he can definitely replicate this in the Premier League. I think this season Bruno Fernandes has scored 13 goals and he's provided around 13 assists in like 24 games this season. I think last season he scored around 32 goals. But it would be fantastic for Man United, and I think, we are seeing him as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. He's 25 years of age, is Bruno Fernandes, and Solskjaer did make it clear. He said, he wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players in. So he wants to bring players in from age 22 to age 25. But, I'm surprised that we didn't get Bruno Fernandes last summer, because actually, last season as well, we was relentlessly, linked to him. And I think the main factor reason why we didn't get him last summer is because, we were determined to meet Sporting Lisbon's valuation. And I don't think last summer, we made an official bid for him. Don't forget, Tottenham have also been in for him. Tottenham went in for him last summer. I do believe last summer his actual preference was a move to Tottenham. Of course, Man City were close to getting him. Liverpool had inquired about his services and that. But, it's looking very, very imminent now. He is going to be leaving Sporting Lisbon. He recently signed a new deal with them in November of last year. He signed a contract with them until 2023. His initial release clause, I think, is around £85 million. So, yeah, he's been a revelation in Portugal. Obviously, when he was younger, he spent the entirety of his career in Italy with Sampdoria underneath, and I think also to Novria. Did Bruno Fernandes in that. But yeah, so if Portuguese televisions are to be believed, they're saying that Man United could announce a signing of Bruno Fernandes today. If it isn't today, then I presume, it will be tomorrow and that. But like I've said to that midfield is one of the priority areas, where Man United do need to strengthen up, because I've got element of concerns about that midfield. We look very exposed now in that midfield anywhere, with the injuries to Paul Pogba and, of course, Tominway. Tom Way, of course, is out until February, with injury. So the only midfielders, we can rely on at this present time is, Fred, Pereira, and Matic. Like I said, Pereira and Matic are definitely no two liabilities. We're also, considering Fosu Mensah for the midfield role when he does come back from injury and that. I think as well it says we're set to offer him a long-term deal, Bruno Fernandes. I think we're set to offer him around £150,000 a week and that. So hopefully, sometime today, it is officially, announced. But like I said on my recent videos, it's very imperative that Man United do recruit the right calibre players to the football club this year. Players that can elevate us forward and get us back, to being a competitive elite level football club, and get us back, up there challenging for major honours. But, Solskjaer is aware that signings are desperately, needed. He's actually, urged our board to make some signings. But I think Solskjaer is hopeful, that he can, recommend around 2 signings in this January transfer window, because he has got the backing of the board. Also, to Ed Woodward, he's backing him. So we're going to see who he can bring in this January transfer window. We're also going to see who he can bring into the club in the summer and that. Solskjaer came out, this was prior to the Norwich game, and he said he's actually warned our fans that we do not expect many signings in this January transfer window. But if we can get Bruno Fernandes, I will be very, very relieved. Obviously as well, I think we need 2 midfielders, so we get Bruno Fernandes in. I think we also need another midfielder as well, because we need an adequate replacement for Ander Herrera. So yeah, so that's the latest news regarding Bruno Fernandes. But definitely, more additional information we'll update about him. Giving the news now regarding Ashley Young, and this is actually stemming from Fabrizio Romano, who is an Italian journalist. I think he tends to be reliable. According to him, Ashley Young has agreed personal terms, and he's agreed a contract with Inter Milan until June 2021. This is what Fabrizio Romano has said. Obviously, Ashley Young didn't play in the game against Norwich yesterday. It allegedly said, that he had refused to play for Man United in that game. Reports have said as well that Crystal Palace and Lazio have joined the race for Ashley Young. I don't think, we are determined to let Ashley Young go in this January transfer window, because he did actually say that, if Inter Milan could get him in this January window, they were determined to offer him around an 18-month contract. Now, Man United offered him a 1-year extension, was it a day or two ago? Ashley Young, of course, turned down this 1-year extension. Solskjaer, like I said, overall, is reluctant to let players go unless, we can recommend new signings in. But I think the reason we want to keep Ashley Young for the time being is because, obviously, reflecting on the injuries we've got, this is the reason, why he does want to keep Ashley Young. But it actually said recently that Inter Milan are set to sign Ashley Young at the end of the season when his current contract does expire. Ashley Young, of course, anywhere, has initially lost his place in the team. Obviously, since the arrival of Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka has been established as our first choice right back. But Young's been a long-serving player at the football club. Young is now into his 9th season at Manchester United. He has enjoyed 8 years here, and he's made a total of 261 appearances in all competitions. Young's past his sell-by date. He's 34 years of age. He's 35 next year. So it would be beneficial if we could get him out in the football club. But yeah, Inter Milan, got 2 of our players last summer. Obviously they got Lukaku for £70 million. They got Sanchez out on loan, and Inter Milan have obviously got quite a few players on their agenda, but yeah, so I think, we need to get rid of Ashley Young. Ashley Young, of course, is our captain, but with Ashley Young's exit now looking very, very imminent, I think, we are set to, name Harry Maguire as our new permanent captain. Yeah, we are set to name Harry Maguire as our new permanent captain and that. But I think he's got good leadership as Harry Maguire. You've got to say he's addressed our defensive deficiencies fantastically well. I agree on the aspect that Man United did overpay for him, because obviously, we paid, was it around £80 million for him. He's the most expensive defender in the world. He's our second most expensive signing, but you've got to say he has done really, really well in that. So that's the latest news regarding that. Obviously, you saw my match reaction for the Man United Norwich game yesterday. Of course, Man United won by 4 goals to nil. Of course, that's our first win of 2020. And I think it's actually the biggest win we've had in the Premier League this season since the 4-0 victory against Chelsea on the opening day. But Solskjaer did say prior to the Norwich game he expected to see a reaction from the players, from the 3-1 defeat to Man City. And we did actually show a good reaction. But obviously, it was a game we was expected to win, because obviously, Norwich looking very likely that they're going to be going down this season. They're sitting bottom of the league. So obviously, Norwich are facing relegation battle. But like I said, in the game at Old Trafford prior to the one yesterday, Norwich beat us by 2 goals to 1. But that was back under the Louis van Gaal, Moreira and Solskjaer had made 4 changes from the 3-1 defeat to Man City in that. But yeah, we played very, very well. Rashford scored 2 goals on his 200th appearance for the club. Also, Martial got his name on the score sheet. So too did Mason Greenwood. He came off the bench and made an impact. Juan Mata, of course, had provided 2 assists. So obviously, Juan Mata was very, very pivotal. But yeah, very, very good performance. There's still obviously players I would keep at Manchester United. Definitely, I'd definitely be determined to keep Rashford. For the vast majority of this season, Rashford has been in scintillating form. Rashford has now scored 63 senior goals for the club since he broke into the senior squad back in 2016. And obviously, so far, Rashford has spent the entirety of his career with Manchester United. He's been a United player overall since he was the age of 7, and he's now only the age of 22. I think Rashford now is on 17 or is at 18 goals so far this season, but very, very good player. Anthony Martial, I think he's now on 59 senior goals for the football club since his arrival from Monaco back in 2015. And Martial himself now is nearly on 200 appearances for the club. And I think Martial's done well this season in the games he has played in. Don't forget, not too long ago, he was out with illness. He's also sustained quite a few injuries this season. And Martial's only the age of 24, but he's definitely the long-term solution for Man United. He does operate in that number 9 role, because I said, he's more effective in that number 9 position. So obviously now with Martial playing centre, Rashford operates out wide. But Martial anyway adds more inspiration that attacking further the pitch, and he does help the likes of Rashford and Daniel James. Some United fans maybe still feel as though that Juan Mata does need to be moved on. Maybe now that we've become infuriated with Jesse Lingard, and maybe Juan Mata now may get more opportunities in the Premier League. I do believe that Juan Mata has lost that yard of pace. Obviously, he's aging up now. What is he, 31 or 32? But don't forget, last summer, Juan Mata had signed, was it a 2-year contract with the club? Well, it was a 3-year deal, 2 years with an option of a further year and that. But Juan Mata, I think he's enjoyed a good career with Man United. This is now his current 6th season with the football club. So some United fans say that keeping, and some United fans say, they would still consider, getting rid of him. And I'd definitely I'd keep the 3 signings at the football club, definitely. We recommended in last summer, because last summer, we spent nearly £150 million on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and on Harry Maguire. And I actually do believe that the 3 signings that we recommended in have actually been our best players so far this season. That I'd keep McTominay because I think before he got injured, he's been a revelation this season for us. I would be determined to give Fred more time at the football club. I thought he wasn't too bad yesterday, Fred, and I think Fred's flourishing as a Manchester United player. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of aspects of his game that need to improve, but I think he is improving his Fred, and he's starting now to replicate at Man United what he produced at Shakhtar Donetsk. But Fred's only been here since the summer of 2018. But to be fair to him, he never really got the opportunity under Jose Mourinho. So yeah, there's still players I would keep at the football club, but I still believe that there's a lot of players that do need to go this year. I think we need to get rid of around 6 or 7 players. We know a lot of players have left since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival. Obviously, Valencia left at the end of last season after he served 10 years at Man United. Obviously, we know that Chris Smalling went out on loan to Roma. Darmian left. Obviously, Herrera went to PSG on a free transfer. You could say that was one of the mistakes Man United did make by getting rid of Ander Herrera, because I thought he was arguably one of our best players since the Ferguson era, and it infuriated me more that we didn't even generate any money for his departure. We let his current contract run down and we let him go on a free transfer. Fellaini left in January 2019. Lukaku and Sanchez, of course, both went to Inter Milan and that. But yeah, there's still problematic players at the football club, so I do believe the players there that do need to go. I think we need to get rid of Ashley Young, like I said. I think Jones is one of the problematic players as well. He's been a long-serving player at Manchester United. He's too inconsistent now. I think we need to get rid of Marcus Rojo. He's another player that needs to be moved on. I think we also need to get rid of Nemanja Matic. Got element of concerns about him. Again, Man United overpaid for him. We paid, around £40 million for him. I think we definitely need to get rid of Jesse Lingard, because obviously now he's going to be dropped. He was dropped in the game against Norwich yesterday and that. And I said, didn't I, reflecting on Jesse Lingard's status at the football club, he should be putting much more better performances out. And for the vast majority of this season, he hasn't, performed to the standards as we should expect from him. But Lingard has been here for several years, and Solskjaer said, he will come good again. But this is a bad start. In the whole of 2019, Jesse Lingard didn't score or provide one single assist. And Jesse Lingard's on a substantial amount at the club. He's on around, 100 grand a week, or just over 100 grand a week. I think probably Chong needs to be moved on. Chong needs to be loaned out this year because he's not at that level yet. And I think, he needs to emulate to that level. So if we could loan Chong out, that would be very beneficial. It's recently, said that Juventus have been in for Chong. But yeah, there's still, quite a lot of players that do need to depart the football club, definitely. And we've obviously, got a lot of young players in the squad as well that are developing and trying to improve. And that's one aspect to me, that does credit Solskjaer. He has got a lot of trustworthy in his young upcoming players. Like I said, I've got some little concerns about some of the young players, but I think the young players that are going to become a success at Manchester United, I think Mason Greenwood's going to do well. He's now on 19 goals for the football club this season. I think as Greenwood develops more, he will, emulate to Rashford and Martial's level. I think he'll probably end up, overtaking them. He's only the age of 18, is Greenwood, so he's, around 3.5, 4 years younger than Rashford. He's around 5.5, 6 years younger than Anthony Martial. But very, very good player. I've got the same perception on Brandon Williams. I think he's going to do well. Had a great game yesterday. Solskjaer views Brandon Williams is first choice left back now, so I do believe he's a better solution than Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw could now find it harder to get into the team and that. Maybe Luke Shaw, could be another player that we could consider, moving on. Luke Shaw's injury prone because he has sustained a lot of injuries as a Manchester United player, as Luke Shaw. But he was good last season, because last season he did win the double player this season, did Luke Shaw. Tuan Zebe, he's been out with injuries, had a few injuries this season, but I think in the games he's played in this season he's done well. Diego Dalot, his appearances have been limited this season. He hasn't really had the chances because he's actually sustained quite a few injuries, but he's played a few times, but he's just come back from injury not too long ago. I think, James Garner will do well. It's good to see as well in the last couple of games that Solskjaer's been convinced to give Angel Gomez the chances. He's made a couple of substitute appearances in that. But like I said, I think the vast majority of the youngsters, will become a success at the football club, definitely in that. And we have as well. Good news is, we have got more players coming back from injury. Obviously, Bay and Fosu-Mensah, I do believe now are back from injury. Because obviously, Bay was out with an injury since pre-season. Fosu-Mensah was out with an injury since he was on loan with Fulham. But it's looking likely, they're back now, because I think they played for our under-23s against Newcastle. I think that was on Friday. So that's very, very good news. I still believe that Rojo is out with injury. But we know that Pogba and McTominay, of course, are still out of injury. But reflect on the amount of injuries we've had this season anyway. Solskjaer has had to, make alterations in the squad. But obviously now, we're sitting, fifth in the Premier League. We've won, obviously, 9 games now in the Premier League, so far this season. We are 5 points behind Chelsea. You can definitely, say that, we're still in that top 4 race. There's quite a few teams in that top 4 race, but it's very imperative, that we do get that top 4 this season, because the top 4 is one of our ambitions. We've got a few ambitions. I think now we can say maybe the FA Cup's an ambition. Definitely the Europa League's ambition for us, because that's another route to Champions League football. Plus, it's also another chance for us getting silverware on the board. I did say, didn't I, before, I think our only chances of getting any silverware on the board is, the Carabao Cup. But obviously now it's looking very, very unlikely that we're going to progress to the final of the Carabao Cup, because, we're 3-1 down in the first leg to Man City. So, obviously in the second leg at the Etihad, like I said, we've got to overcome a 2-goal deficit. But I still think there's a chance we can get some silver on the board this season. There's still a chance we can get that top 4. I think, we need signings, if we want to get that top 4. And Solskjaer give us an update on our top 4 ambitions. And he believes Man United need to find the consistency, if we've got many chances of getting that top 4. But we get the top 4 this season and we can, win the FA Cup or win the Europa League. I'd analyse it and say, I would be very, very happy with that. Because don't forget, it is a transition period, and Solskjaer is hopeful, that we can get through this transition period and that. But Solskjaer said recently, not too long ago, that he expects a successful 2020 with Man United. So what he's saying in that aspect is he expects us to enjoy a better year this year than what we saw last year, because for the vast majority of last year, we was very, very inconsistent, We was very, very inconsistent in that. But I did say at the start of this season that I expect us to enjoy a better season this season than what we saw last season. My perception's been totally comparison, to... It's been totally comparison to what's happened though, because obviously we've enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for around 30 years. But last season we finished 6th. And if I'm right, I think 6th is actually the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. But, we know we're not going to win the league for several years, because we're not good enough to win the league at the moment, and we're not even good enough, to mount any kind of title challenge up, because at the moment, City strides ahead of us, Liverpool are strides ahead of us, and, we haven't won the league since 2013, and that's 7 years ago now. So the last time we won the Premier League was in Alex Ferguson's last season. The last time we won it. But like I said, we've been a toxic football club, for the last 6 or 7 years and that. I don't see us ever being the team that we was under Ferguson. Maybe I could be proven wrong. I just don't see Solskjaer invoking Ferguson's legacy at Man United. I think regardless who our manager is, I don't think they'll ever replicate, what Alex Ferguson did anywhere. When we recommended Ferguson in from Aberdeen in 1984, don't forget he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club, so he didn't settle in straight away. But look what he went and accomplished after that. He won 38 major honours with the club. He controlled the transfer policies, controlled the contracts, developed a lot of young players. And Solskjaer replicates him in that aspect because Solskjaer wants to do the exact same thing. He wants to do the exact same thing in that. And we was fantastic under Ferguson. And he enjoyed, 26, 27 years. So he was a long-serving manager for the club. I think he had a massive influence. I think he had a massive influence on the game, did Ferguson, definitely. The winning mentality was there. The fear factor was there. And, none of that seems to be there anymore. But maybe if Solskjaer is to be given the time he's demanding, then maybe, we can progress, to that level, what we was under Alex Ferguson. Definitely in that. And Solskjaer's our fourth permanent manager since the Ferguson era. Obviously, 3 managers have been sacked since the Ferguson era. Moyes went after 10 months. Louis van Gaal went just after a year, despite the fact he won the FA Cup. Jose Mourinho, of course, went after 2.5 years. He actually, enjoyed the longest tenure with the football club since the Alex Ferguson era. But Solskjaer's been here quite long now. He's been here 13 months. So he's been here over a year as Solskjaer. He's been permanent manager for almost 10 months, And he has got a 3-year contract with the football club as Solskjaer. He's got a 3-year contract with the club worth around £7.5 million a year. So if we do decide to sack Solskjaer within this 3-year period, then obviously, we'd have to pay something in compensation to get rid of him. But I'm very sceptical that our board will get rid of Solskjaer. Very, very sceptical about it. And you haven't only had, United fans demanding Solskjaer out. Obviously, as you saw the game against Norwich yesterday, you had a lot of our fans protesting, Ed Woodward and protesting the Glazers. You heard a lot of United fans, demanding the Glazers out of the football club. And I think I've got to agree on that aspect because I think we need to get rid of the Glazers. I think we also, need to get rid of Ed Woodward. I also believe that, we need to get rid of our current board because our board have been a liability for several years. So, yeah, like I said, a variety of changes are needed at the football club. I'm still Solskjaer out. Like I said, a good couple of results, or a good result or whatever, doesn't change my perception on Solskjaer. He is still not the long-term solution for Manchester United. He isn't the long-term solution. He isn't the long-term solution. And, whether his managerial tenure at Man United works out or not, we'll never forget what he's done for the football club, because he was a great long-serving player for us for 11 years. He was fantastic and he flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance. But like I've said numerous times, as a manager, he's totally comparison to how he was as a player, definitely. And I just don't think, he's the right man to elevate this club forward. And I hate to say it. And obviously, there's been a few managers on our agenda. Obviously, Pochettino is. It's likely he'll be our next manager if Solskjaer gets sacked. Obviously, recent reports said that Massimiliano Allegri wants to take over at Manchester United. But I think we need to recommend a top-level manager in. We need to get managers. We need to get a manager in whose philosophy, is right for the club and, and all that. And it was a shame last summer as well that we didn't get a director of footballing. So, but yeah. So, the main part of this video was to give you the news regarding Bruno Fernandes. Could be officially announced today, according to Portuguese TV stations. And I'll be very, very happy if we get Bruno Fernandes on the board. We're going to pay around 50 million up front. I think with 10 million in add-ons, which does rise it to 60 million pounds, and that. Talks, I think, are still going on, but we are now at the advanced stage in negotiations, which is good. So, I'll be back on later on if anything else does happen regarding Bruno Fernandes. I obviously yesterday gave you the news about Eriksen and that, didn't I? I kept you up to date what's going on with James Maddison. Nothing much more is updated about that. If recent reports are to be believed, it's looking like Eriksen is going to be going to Inter Milan. But I think Welsh is seeing Fernandes as an alternative to Maddison because it's looking extremely unlikely that we're going to get James Maddison in this January transfer window anywhere. So, yeah. So, anyway, guys, drop your comments, like, support on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing. As always, the games that are coming up, we've got Wolves in the FA Cup third round replay coming up. Then we've got Liverpool. That's our next league game, which is next Sunday. That's going to be an extremely difficult game. But yeah, join me for that. So take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.